Welcome back, gamers. I am Danny
Evelyn?
at the NintendoCade channel. Today is a really special review of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was provided by Nintendo for this review, so thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to do so. So this is a big game for Nintendo Switch.
And also for Danny.
Yes, it is. I am a big fan of the
Huge.
Zelda franchise from the very beginning on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original Legend of Zelda. The reason why I brought this up is this game reminds me of my old days playing this game when I was about 5 years old. It's really a game that you just go in, you play, you just put it into a world that you don't know anything about, and you just explore it the way you want it. And that is exactly what I think the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is all about. So I just want to give you a heads up. This is a spoiler-free review, so don't be afraid to watch our review, as we're not going to give you too many details. That kind of spoils the experience.
Yeah, because we want you guys to experience it. Even Danny, he would try to avoid every article, anything online. He's like, no, I'm going to experience myself. It's very different when you experience yourself.
Absolutely.
And I have to say that when he just turned the game, we were just like...
We were mind blown. Mind blown. I'm just like,
right.
my mind's exploded. The reason why is the graphics is amazingly... The music.
I love the music.
Yeah, once you listen to it, it grasps your attention right away.
Right.
It's very atmospheric. It's the way it's made is not like to get your attention like up front and personal, but it kind of flows into the gameplay. The graphics is I would say, if you want a basic comparison, is the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess combined with the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker plus the original game from the original NES, all meshed up together. The gameplay, graphics would be the
like
Breath of the Wild.
Something big.
All three games combined together is what I think is a mesh of this game. So you don't need any previous Legend of Zelda experience to play this one.
Right, in this case, that's why Danny told me, no, you could play. I told him, I'm not sure because I never play any Zelda game. But he's like, no, try it. And I actually I tried it, and he told me, and it really like, you don't need any experience from the past Zelda game. This game is
totally different because you kind of it's a totally different mechanic. It kind of harks back to the original NES Legend of Zelda, because you explore a real big vast world. You can fully play it in different ways,
many different ways, and then it's a wide range of gameplay mechanics for every player to enjoy it. So it's really up to the player to see how the game and its story will like
unfold. Unfolds.
Right.
So it's really all up to you how you want to do it, and you can much enjoy the game and make your adventure a memorable one as you kind of go through the world doing side quests. It's just numerous things you could do, and there's many things and surprises that you'll be able to uncover as you go through.
You'll never see. I actually asked Dane, I'm like, have you seen it? He said, no, I never seen this. This is like the first time seeing it. It's beautiful. Different places that you mentioned, right? I don't want to say it, but then it's like different environment. The weather changes. It's beautiful. You actually feel that you are in the game. Like
the world is a living, breathing environment. You're set into a world discovery.
Sometimes Danny just like staring to the TV, or sometimes the handheld mode, like when he's holding the Switch, and I'm like, wait, are you not playing? I am playing. I'm just like, no, admiring the atmosphere. I'm like, okay.
Definitely.
Yes.
With the world that we're kind of discussing, it kind of go through vast fields of forest, mountain peaks, desert. It's just every kind of environment, like in the real world that we're living in. And with those worlds, it kind of affects how you play, what you do. It kind of goes through how you progress in the game is because of those environments.
And you can actually take your Switch anywhere.
Oh yes,
and enjoy the adventure. You know, as Link, he does the same thing. So anywhere you wanna go, anyway.
Anywhere he goes, you can take the Nintendo Switch anywhere you go to play this game.
And Danny told me, it's such a big world that anything you see in the screen, you could actually go there, regardless how far it looks. You could still could go there.
You know that when you first start the game, you're greeted to this big, vast scenery as Link travels out, running out. He looks the far distance, and that gives you a glimpse of the massive world that you go. Anything you see far out there is where you can actually go to.
We were just staring at it like for a few minutes. Let us know in comment like what you guys felt when you just turned the game and just saw that. Just let us know.
The first moments of the game.
I'm sure you guys felt the same way as we did.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So, now, like I said, anywhere you can you can go. So obviously, if you're in a mountain peaks, a forest, for example, you're in a mountain or a cliff, you can actually climb up pretty quickly. Right. And there's a stamina bar if you're wondering. So be careful if you kind of climbing or do anything strenuous to Link. He does run out of stamina. It's like in real life. You could fall off a cliff and you die. So just be aware. You can actually die pretty often in this game if you're not be too careful.
I actually make Link work hard so many times. Then he's like, you can't do that. The Link is tired. You have to. I'm like, okay.
Oh yes. Just be aware if you do climb or go to some different location, or you may be swimming in a different area. It's actually a way to explore new areas of the world that you may not think of being able to reach there. So they do take risks, but not be too safe as well.
Right.
There's also you set your own path and you go into the wilderness itself. With that, there's different animals in the world,
which you have to battle with. With animals.
You can leave them alone.
Right.
But you can actually hunt these wild beasts.
Yes.
And pretty much make them like food.
I know. I saw that. Then he was doing that. I was like, what?
Yep.
And also, you collect ingredients.
Yeah.
The ingredients, the food, like to make your food.
Yep.
Right.
You got for examples like the ones that on the trees, the apples.
The
mushrooms, the mushroom, the Hylian mushroom. Another one that's one of my favorites that I actually realized afterwards that was very important is the peppers, the chili peppers.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, the chili peppers is where you would just like you cook it, you make it like a little plate, and you eat it. You can actually give yourself about 15 minutes, I believe, that you can go into the mountain ranges. Because it's cold, so it actually warms you up. So Link can travel through those mountainous regions without being hurt. Because like I said before, the game's environment affects Link. So for example, if you're in a desert, you gotta wear light clothing. Just like in the summer, where you're living. In the winter, you gotta wear a jacket, something heavy.
Just like us, like a human being.
Yeah, just like a human being. Yep. So the game is, like I said, it's very vast. It does have over 100 shrines of trials to discover and explore.
And you could discover them any order you want.
Yeah.
It's not like specific order any way you want.
If you guys are wondering what a shrine is like a dungeon. If you play previous Zelda games, you kind of know what they're all about. In this case, there's so many of them, and each of them. If you go through them and it's different puzzles obviously, and they involve realistic physics, also things that would harness electricity, fire, wind, elements of nature to go through those actual shrines.
Right, and each of them varies.
Yeah.
And you will not know until you step into it. So you have to know once you go in there, you know what you're challenging.
You kind of experiment a little bit, and you kind of trial and error, and that's how I go through all those dungeons, and I should say shrines. In this sense, because that's how we play Zelda. That's how we usually refer to it. Obviously, you work your way through the traps and the devices that are inside, and you gotta utilize your runes and think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Yes.
It's not always right there for the answers right there. You have to really think outside the box.
Absolutely.
Yes.
With those shrines that you go through, you earn special items and rewards that actually you need to continue your adventure throughout Hyrule. Yeah,
it help you a lot through the whole adventure, right?
Absolutely. Of course, you gotta be prepared and properly equipped.
Right, what you mentioned before. When it's too cold, you need to wear more clothing.
Oh yes,
bundle up. And when it's kind of hot, then you have to wear lighter clothing.
Yeah.
But like Danny last time, he didn't had enough clothing to bundle a poor Link. So he used the technique which he thought about it, eating the peppers, right?
Yes.
The pepper. So he actually was able to go through the whole section.
She actually saw me go through
I was
the
like, wow,
actual
that's so
thing.
crazy, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? He's like,
Yeah.
and he explained to me. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
the thing about these clothing, we're bringing it back because they have a little tidbit that I would give you guys that some of them can make you move faster or possibly a little stealthier.
Yeah, so it might have some special effects. Right?
Yeah, so it has to give you a little bit better ability as you go through the game. So that's something you guys gotta keep in mind.
Right. So it's pretty cool. So like dress up, playing, like change different clothing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As you go through the different worlds, you're going to be battling different enemies, some really large and some small, but they all have their own way of defeating them.
Yes.
They have their own weapons, own behavior, so you got to think quickly and develop the right way to just defeat the enemies.
To defeat them, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he had one of them, then he was having a hard time.
Yes.
He was like having a hard time, so many times, but then at the end he got it. But it's so interesting because he was just telling me, but why I can't kill the enemy? Why?
Yeah.
And at the end, it's like, oh, he got it. He's like, wow, this game is so different. He was telling me that it's very different from any other Zelda.
Yeah.
He says like, this game, you have to unlearn
what you learn because I gotta use what I would say discard what I learned before when playing all those previous Zelda games because you don't really apply in this game. It's really a game that I would say Nintendo took a really big leap forward in making the series a different path, and that really makes it an engrossing experience, and it's a really big plus.
I mean, I know they took they did keep delaying the game.
Yes, they did.
But I mean, at the end, it's worth it what they did. They did a tremendous
totally
job.
worth it.
Yes.
So, highly recommended.
Right.
Yeah. One last tidbit that we want to mention. Yes, it is compatible with a various range of amiibos in the Zelda line.
Right.
They obviously have the Wolfling from Twilight Princess HD.
Which I know it will Wolfling will appear.
Yeah.
So it will helps attack the enemy,
Yeah.
and also help you find like items you're searching for.
Yeah. Another one is Whole Line.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite because I'm a big old school Zelda fan after all. That is the Zelda 3rd anniversary line of amiibos. Again, they also help give you in-game items that may help you. Just a little more tidbit is provide treasure chests. What's in there?
The items,
Who knows? Who knows? Lastly is the more recently released is the Breath of the Wild series amiibo. Beautiful. Love those set of amiibos. And they do the same way as well, and that's pretty much like what we wanted to tell you guys about the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild without spoiling too much for you guys. It's a game that you must dive in hands-on personally and to experience the wonders of what this game is all about. It took years of development, and that effort is really seen in the game itself.
Right, and they actually mentioned that you don't need to. There's no time of finishing the game.
Right.
You could actually just go and defeat the boss, right?
Yeah. You can go right.
That's it.
Beat the boss and you're done.
Yeah.
Or you could possibly just do a lot of the side quests that are in the game that can make your experience vastly enormous in time to go through the game itself. So.
Yes, and then one more thing, we actually witnessed couple of our friends turning on the game.
Yeah.
Their reaction was priceless.
It's priceless.
It's just like it makes us look. We're looking at them. We're like so happy. Each reaction, their reaction, their face shows that wow. It's like right.
That's the sign of the perfection of this game. And I never got excited for. I've been always excited for any Zelda game, but this one really gets me excited. Ever since one of my favorites is Ocarina of Time, and I must point out that is like the flagship of all games that I love as a Zelda game. So that tells you how much this game really deserves your attention.
Yes, and everybody was. Oh, we were in the midnight launch on Nintendo store, right?
Yes.
And everybody said the same thing what just Denny said, and they were just excited. And they was talking about Ocarina of Time, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, but this one, Breath of the Wild. Everybody was in line.
Everyone was hyped, excited
for this game.
This game is really up there. let me know down below in the comments what you think of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you got your hands on the game, if you, have you played it through, what your impressions of it, what you have trouble with, and maybe you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. We'll gladly answer that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So thank you again to Nintendo for providing the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for this review. It was a great pleasure to do so. And we appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review. Subscribe to NintendoCade. That always helps out a lot. And we will always talk to you again in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.